start in a second. Okay, welcome back. This is Kathy Sipple, and you were here for day 5 of Birth of a Brand. I would say I kind of managed to do most of what I wanted to do this week, and I really feel that with your participation and just feeling that I had to be accountable and show up every day and tell you what the progress would be, I definitely got more done than I would have without you being the observers. Let's put it that way. Didn't get quite everything that I wanted to get done, but I'm going to share progress, tell you where we are, in the last 24 hours, what's happened. Charlotte, you recommended putting together a membership directory, and I did that. That was pretty easy to do. I've rearranged the navigation bars based on some input from Scott. Scott was the designer who developed the logo for me. He also volunteered to do some HTML code if I needed it. All kinds of great stuff is coming up from you lovely people. So it just makes my heart so happy, and this definitely is feeling like our community, which I really love. So I want to thank you, everybody that's here on the call. I think I have added each and every one of you to the membership directory. Some of you have pledged, financial support. Some of you have pledged to be a volunteer. Some of you are active clients with me, who are paying my, my regular rate. So for whatever reason, for one of those reasons, I have each of you in the membership directory. So some people have, volunteered, and we haven't quite figured out what their volunteer task may be. But what I'd like to do is offer everybody that's on this call and everybody in the directory a full access 2-month, membership. So what I did was I defined membership a little bit more. Let's see if I can get there. Scott suggested that I put some of the pages that were previously on the top navigation level under something like action. And so I put questions there, I put get involved there, donate there. Donate, I feel like, is probably needs a little bit further explanation, because right now donate and membership is actually kind of the same thing. This, I think, is a little confusing. It says not ready to become a member, but want to support the work. What I really should spell out is that what the membership benefits are at each level. So at the $30 or more level, you get access to the to the group coaching, the office hours that have been 3 hours a week. And since I'm all of a sudden going from just a handful of people to a couple dozen people that I'll make those office hours available to, I'll step that up, and I'll make that like probably at least double, like 6 hours, and see if that's enough. But I really want everybody to participate in that's interested in it, and hopefully it's something you might decide you want to do, and that would be a value for you to do. If again, financially you're not there within 2 months, that's okay. You can still have whatever other level of membership. If you are donating volunteer support at that kind of a level, then we can kind of figure out what that looks like, and 2 months will give us a chance to kind of work out the details. But I really want everybody who's on this call, everybody that's been a part of building CoThrive, to experience the full value and get what you can get out of it. The other thing I'm hoping to do is use March as kind of a March Madness membership recruitment kind of time. And I worked very hard on getting my affiliate stuff up. I was hoping to be able to launch that today. I see Christine Neal just arrived, and I want to wait until she's in to say this, because she really helped me out with some information. Christine, can you say hello in chat when you're settled in and you have audio? I'm about to mention you, and I just want to make sure that you're hearing me. For those of you that may not know what affiliates are, it's basically where when somebody becomes a member, I'm willing to, to give part of that membership fee that recurring membership fee to whoever recruited that person. And so Christine kind of shared with me a few models. No, don't worry, Christine. I'm not going to turn on any cameras. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to me. Okay, no problem. You don't even have to talk if you don't want to. But Christine and I spent some time talking, this week or last, and she just shared some models that she is actively looking at. She's got a list of, I think, 10,000 contacts for her fabulous over 50 women's group that's primarily in the Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana area. So she's, a real mover and a shaker with those, those folks. So what I found, and I installed last night, I was up almost all last night trying to get this thing done, is something called Post Affiliate Pro. It kind of lets me create my own affiliate marketing program, and basically I just don't have it integrated and installed with CoThrive yet. But what will happen once that's there is that you can create your own links. I'm an affiliate for several other products and services, and I'll just show you what it looks like if you're not familiar. I've mentioned it, tangentially before, but if it's a new thing for you, it might require a little bit of extra explanation. Can you just tell me in the chat box if you already know what affiliate marketing is? I'm curious if you know what it is and if you're already doing it. Because I was thinking I could maybe do a class in 2 weeks that was about affiliate marketing. Okay, so a couple yeses, couple nos. Basically, what affiliate marketing is, again, is when the person who is the merchant, in this case me, is willing to compensate people who direct traffic, to me to purchase my services, or in this case, membership. Okay, let's see. All right, so Lisa, somewhat familiar, not doing it right now. Christine, yes, have used it with Eventbrite. Yeah, Eventbrite makes it relatively easy to set up affiliates and let people kind of sell your tickets for you. And so there are basically affiliate management programs where you can pay somebody to automate it and do it all for you. One that I'm in, like Share a Sale, okay, this is one. You can kind of tell right down here on Pinterest, you can say pinned from Share a Sale. Even though this pin is about Hootsuite, Hootsuite.com is not the underlying link. If I were to click on this this picture, you can see up in the URL, if your eyes are that good, that for a little bit before it redirects to signup.hootsuite.com, it was actually showing a link called Share a Sale. So if I go into Edit, you can see the shareasale.com and then this weird little code. This is something specific to me. This is my own link, so that when Hootsuite gets a referral, this thing kind of keeps a cookie there for however long. And in some cases it's as long as 365 days. So if anybody was visiting my Pinterest, they then went to Hootsuite, and then within the next 365 days ended up buying a paid version of Hootsuite, then I would get some amount of compensation. Okay, so I'm probably an affiliate for, I don't know, 10 or a dozen different things, and I haven't been real strategic in the past with it. HostMonster, I really, really do love them. It's not just that I'm trying to make money from being an affiliate. I've used them for 5 years. I always give them top ratings on their survey. They ask a little customer survey at the end of every call, and I call them a lot because I've got about 20 domains. But their affiliate program is very generous. I think if you were to sign up with them, it's whatever, $4 or $5 a month, depending on what specials they have. And they send me a check for $65 if somebody prepays for a year. So anyway, there's kind of a pretty nice program there. So Doka's asking, where can we find your HostMonster link again? Here's the cool thing. You can just go to Pinterest.com and go to /Kathy Sipple, because I wasn't great at keeping these links, readily available. I couldn't find them, easily. I just put together this thing, Marketing Toolbox, on Pinterest. And, I wrote in the disclosure, these are tools I use and recommend to get work done for myself and for clients. Some I have used for a long time, others I'm just discovering. I have affiliate relationships with some too. I'll note that where it applies just to keep things transparent. Being an affiliate means that I may get a referral payment if you click the link to the product, okay? So if it's in this Marketing Toolbox, you don't need to worry about, finding my specific URL because I've already got it embedded in this image. So my logo, for instance, the people that I use for logo, if I can't afford Scott, if Scott wasn't willing to donate his time and be that generous, I go with Logo Nerds, and I think they do a pretty good job. This Kathy Sipple and Associates, that cost me less than $50 to get done. And so if you need a logo, you can click on this logo. It'll take you to Logo Nerds, and I get credit. Okay. So Charlotte's asking, how will you get credit if we sign up for HostMonster? Here's the deal again. If you click on this link, it has a tracking feature. Okay, so you can't really tell, but under here it's got www.hostmonster.com/track/MSMC. So that's my social media coach. I set that up. What happens is if you paste that link in your browser and then you hit enter, it just redirects. I think that's called a 301 redirect. So basically it says this link equals hostmonster.com, but they can tell that it came from me. You don't have to paste the link. You can just click on that Pinterest image to get there because the link is already embedded. I was just kind of showing you the underlying workings of it. Okay, so let me see what other questions I have here. So yeah, Lisa's asking, kind of like royalties? Yeah, kind of like royalties. Although I usually think of royalties as being, if I'm the content developer and somebody else is using it, then, I make royalties. In a way, it's just like sales commission. It's performance-based. You don't get paid unless you actually, sell something. So you can either do it by, very intentionally handing somebody the link or, pulling it up on the computer for them, or you can think about some ways that you could promote it. So I want to make that easy for you, and I don't have that ready to completely roll out, but I'm hoping in 2 weeks maybe that would be a good program to do. Again, I could be talking about it a little bit specifically for how it would work for CoThrive, but at the same time educating you on, what do you need to know to be in compliance. There are some sites like the free version of WordPress where you cannot use affiliate links. I actually kind of got my first site shut down because I did that. I didn't know that was a no-no. And they froze my account, and that's what kind of made me decide to go to a hosted WordPress site because I wanted the freedom to be able to do that. So, there are some considerations that you should know. There is some language that, I can't remember who it is, if it's the federal FCC maybe, or FTC, Federal Trade Commission, somebody other cares about the language that's used in the disclosure, that you need to let people know you're an affiliate, basically. So Christine is just sharing a couple other areas or places where she is an affiliate. That's great. That's helpful. And let's see. Okay, so Charlotte, I think I answered that for you, but she's just still trying to confirm. So just click on the Pinterest link and then go to the site. That's right. Yeah, you can do that. And so Lisa's asking, is that what a click-through means, or is it something else? Yeah, I mean, basically click-through just tracks the behavior of a visitor to a site. Like, was there a banner ad, or was there a call to action, and then they clicked, and then they clicked again. They kind of took that next action. Sometimes I'll send out an email newsletter, and there are all kinds of hyperlinks embedded there. With MailChimp, I can actually see how many things got clicked on, what the rate was, and who did it the most, who didn't do it at all. So click-through can be a little bit broader than just affiliate marketing, but certainly it's a big component of affiliate marketing. You know, the nice thing is you can kind of set it up if you have a website and you're talking about it authentically, it comes up in your business, then, you know, it's basically like a way that you can just passively refer business. And if it's something you really believe in anyway, then it's kind of a win-win. So again, back to co-thrive, that's a key principle that I want to, embed in its very existence, is not making it completely dependent on, hey, it has to be money, I want to honor all forms of energy. Let's see here. What was the thing I put? Yeah, I guess I consider that under, best practices. That might sound a little crazy. I know some people don't think of affiliate marketing as very like spiritual economics, but I just kind of feel like there are a lot of interesting ways that you can get compensated for being a real helping type of personality. And some people just do that naturally, so why not harness that? Why not share the wealth? Because honestly, for me to get another member in the door and service that member, it might take a little bit, extra time up front, but, I'm more than happy to share. So just to tell you kind of what I have in my mind is that with the $30 membership, for instance, that I would be more than willing to give, $10 on a $30 a month member to whoever refers. And then there's some people like Christine Neal, who's on the call, that have, a list of 10,000, and she was real interested in, can you do a two-tier type of a thing so that she doesn't feel like, she doesn't have to feel like she's got to shepherd all of her 10,000 personally. She can blast it out there, and then if her members end up recruiting members further, she could earn a little something on that. So what I'm thinking is that that second tier would be like $5, so I would retain 15. I would give 10 to the first level referral, and then $5 for a second level. Hope that makes sense. But again, I'll go into that in more detail. I just think it's a pretty interesting model. Again, for people that naturally are recommending products, you're out there being helpers, why not learn to kind of harness that? Conversely, I think it's a kind of cool idea for a merchant if you have something like I do where it's going to benefit from sharing the wealth and spreading around the profits, and that's what I would like to do. And Deb Landry is saying that sounds overwhelming to manage. If you have the automated software, it's definitely a lot easier, but I don't have it quite all the way totally set up. Charlotte is asking, I'm interested in seeking nonprofit status. One thing that might be useful is if members can tag on to the nonprofit status. Yeah, I've been kind of looking at that too, wondering what am I doing exactly? Is it for profit? Is it nonprofit? And I'm not exactly nonprofit. It's just, it's like how the profit comes in. It's a little different. So that's definitely something I think could be explored as well. So Deb, yeah, I'm not going to say it's not overwhelming at all, but this is one program that I signed up for. I'm not sure that this is what I'm going to use. So far I found it to be pretty clear. Basically, this one's called Post Affiliate Pro, and this one had a real starter package that you could try for free. But step number one, brainstorming. You really need to think about your profitability. You need to think about have a plan first before you just go clicking all the links and all that. You're reviewing your settings. You need to define the commissions. You create banners that your affiliates can use so that they don't have to do all the work. And then basically when somebody signs up, the banners and the links all get generated automatically. I don't have to do that every time, okay? So, it is some work to get it set up, and it probably would not be for everybody, but I think that this is something that would do really well for me, and I know that if we're all selling it, then hopefully I can help some of you that are in the job search mode, or you're uber connected. I just think that would feel really right to me, rather than saying, hey, just, I want to lean on you to refer me business. If you don't feel like becoming an affiliate, you still want to refer business, that's great too. So let's just see here what the other questions are. Charlotte says, we haven't been able to go through the process, and I think she's talking about nonprofit status process ourselves, but for grant applications, a lot of times we need a nonprofit. Yep, I understand that. Christine says, as you know, I'm working on a membership plan for Fabulous Over 50 as well. The 2-tier will be offered to leaders, perhaps not to all. Yeah, that's probably a good idea too, is just to see who makes sense for that. Carly says, check out L3C as a hybrid entity. I believe that is in reference to the nonprofit. Mark Lane Attorney, L-A-N-E, Mark Lane Attorney in Illinois, allows profit and nonprofit benefits. I think, Carly, you mentioned that before a couple weeks ago, and that's very interesting. Okay. Deborah says, can you come up with a price for the features to hire you to do it for us? Let me get through my own, and then I'll figure out what the heck it's going to take, honestly. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure I'll be the best person, but I'd love to maybe identify that person and bring them, into the tribe and have them be the trainer and possibly the, go-to consultant, okay? So Lisa says that she's heard of LC3, but not sure Indiana allows them. Interesting, okay. Carly says that LC3 entity is an entity for social entrepreneurs. Okay, cool. Good. And I just also want to say that I am looking into different platform for the webinar. I think this works, okay, but this new webinar platform that I'm hoping to be able to demo, not going to be ready by next week. I only can change so many variables at a time, but hopefully in the next week or two, it actually allows everybody on the call to see the stream, the chat stream, and so you can even see like who's tweeting, about what we're talking about. It just makes it a lot more interactive, and I think you're going to like it. So, and I think it's going to streamline the sign-up process a little bit too. So we shall see. Okay, so back regarding LC3, Carly is saying it's in at least 28 states with others in process. So good. Well, I'm going to definitely jot that down and see what I can find. That's great. Okay, so affiliate, again, that's kind of the idea behind it. The cool thing that I really like about CoThrive, or Nation Builder, I should say, the platform that it's built on, is it actually does a fair amount of stealth, what do I want to say, just like being sticky about what's happened. I don't know that I can totally pull this off just now, but for instance, Charlotte invited somebody to next week's workshop, and so did Doka, both of you who are on the call, and CoThrive notes that basically. So CoThrive will always know that you were the recruiter for that person. So if they join later, even if I don't have an affiliate program officially in place and you didn't click on the link, I'll still honor that. If I've got a tracking and I know that's how it happened, then I'll be happy to do that. Okay. So anyway, for anyone who wasn't here at the very beginning and might have missed it, I just want to say I'm so grateful for all of you, helping me through this birth process and just, being here with me to get this idea off the ground, that I want to reward you. I would like to gift you a 2-month free membership with full benefits. And also for anybody who actually paid and already is a subscriber, I'm going to give you an extra bonus. What I was thinking is 2 times 60, in lieu of the $60 that you would have paid that somebody else is getting for free, I would give you a free 1-hour consultation. So if you've already got a package with me, I'll give you an extra hour. And, depending on what your package price is, that's, open rate, it's $100, $125. If you bought a bundle of hours, whatever. Just know that I want to kind of gift you an extra $100 for you being early adopters and signing up. So I was also thinking it would be fun to look at the leaderboard results. Leaderboard, you get points basically assigned called social capital. And to be real honest, I haven't even been able to dig all the way down the rabbit hole to figure out, exactly what CoThrive has got set up automatically defaulted to be assigned. But when you tweet, when you RSVP, when you comment, when you share, basically that's how you're getting social capital. So already, just with the leaders that are showing here, in just a day or two, you guys have collectively gotten to 312 social capital points. I just thought a fun challenge, for this next 2 months, so by end of April, would be like 5,000 social capital points. I kind of picked that a little bit randomly, but I'm just thinking, let's see how that would work, and we'll play with it. And what I'm going to do is, for the top 3 people, the number 1 is going to get a free 5-hour package. Number 2 is going to get a free 3-hour, consulting package, and number 3 is going to get a 1-hour, consult with me. So if you've got anything you want to just, work on, we could even make it the subject of an open workshop if you want it to be a groupthink type thing. You're not going to hurt my feelings if it's, not. If you want, the bigger group, not just me. But anyway, I really want to share the wealth, make it fun, and reward the people that are out there doing all the sharing. So go Christine Neal. You're in number 1 right now. So I may be tweaking this stuff. I'm going to be like Google a little bit. I'm going to keep my algorithm a little bit secret. So just know, though, the more you share and the more you kind of participate, that's how you're going to earn points there. All right? So cool. Let's see what other questions we have. Charlotte is asking, how do I get my picture on the social capital thing? Yes, great question. Because I thought that I saw your picture on your profile, but for some reason it looks like it's broken or something. Okay. You should be able to get into like your public profile, and you can put in a little bio about yourself. You can put in a link to your website. You can put in, here's where you upload profile image. So choose file. I don't know why I don't have one. I thought I did. I thought I remembered seeing my picture. Well, I can't find my own picture right this second. But anyway, you have to have public profile enabled for it to show up. So you want to click here, include me in leaderboards. You do have the option not to include yourself on a leaderboard. I didn't think it would actually be in good taste for me to participate on my own leaderboard, so I'm opting out of that. And let's see what else. Private settings. If you do want to receive text messages, I'm going to have the ability to do that eventually. So I know some of you have said, there are problems with getting events to sync with Google Calendar, I'm working on that. I think when you get an RSVP for GoToWebinar, do they not make it a little bit easier to do that? I know through CoThrive right now, it doesn't automatically hook you up with GoToWebinar, but GoToWebinar, I think, does allow that. If anybody can confirm whether that system is working okay, that would be helpful. But you guys have really provided me with a wealth of information about how to make this stuff better, and I really, really appreciate it. So one little thing that you can do for your own SEO is you can say, allow search engines to find my profile. You guys were kind of giving me a hard time the other day saying, oh, you're a rock star because you've got all these listings, on Google. Well, that's because I've got so many profiles out there. And so let this be another profile opportunity where you can kind of promote yourself to the search engines at large, but also allow other group members to find out about you, okay? So you can do all kinds of things here in your, the little paragraph thing. You don't actually have to answer, why do you support CoThrive community? You can write whatever the heck you want. I should probably change that so it's a little bit more member-focused instead of CoThrive-focused. But if you want to say that, that's awesome too. let's see, what else can I tell you? Give it a try. You know, I kind of think what I'll do beyond the office hours is just have what I'm going to call, you know, Co-Thrive member benefit workshops. You know, when I find out cool new things that the program can do, it's probably not going to be worth a whole week, you know, series, but maybe just kind of have like work days. So for people who have volunteered to do admin stuff or member welcome, some of the volunteer activities have not yet been defined. You know, if you're able to come and participate on some of these finer points of what the website can do, then we can kind of all, you know, be empowered. Okay, so Deb is saying she can't find where to invite. Now, you do know I don't have the affiliate program set up yet, right? Okay, so if you missed that part, I said that would probably be coming in about 2 weeks, so that's not here yet. But if you attend an event, let's say, and you RSVP, okay, like for next week, you can do a +1, and if you do a +1, that's like your, that's basically like you've invited somebody, and you will get credit for that. So you're going to be showing up as a recruiter. That's probably the best thing right now that you can do. So some of you who might not have been here at the very beginning, I had said I really wanted to have my affiliate program ready to roll, and unfortunately it just wasn't quite there. I mean, you'd laugh if you knew what time I got up. I've been up since 1:30 in the morning. I've already had 4 cups of coffee. I really wanted to get the affiliate thing working, and it wasn't happening. So just know that if you invite anybody, if you put in a +1, even if you just share it, like if you share it on Facebook, I don't want you to be freaked out because the social capital thing is pretty cool. I'm going to see here if I can find an example. Yeah, it might be a little ugly as I try to figure it out, but suffice it to say, it kind of tracks basically. It'll show this person, connected to this person. It can kind of see what you do, especially via social media. It brings in your social media contacts. So let me just see if I can find you, Deb Landry, and we'll see what kind of social capital is showing up for you. So the way that it, hey, you're number 4 in political capital right now. Cool. So the way that it kind of tracks you is, and please disregard, there's some stuff here like party member. It's kind of politically oriented, and I'm not really a political organization. I just haven't bothered to change the back-end language. That I guess that's kind of their default. But it'll show your number of followers under the social capital tab. I think that's, yeah, okay. I mean, it's a little crazy, but here's Deborah Landry RSVP'd, and Deb Landry tweeted the link. She wants to volunteer, signed up to be a presenter, and if you had shared a link with such and such, or this person signed up via your shared link, basically it tracks that too. So it's pretty sticky, but the affiliate link will be the cleanest way once I get that. Okay, let me just go to the comments. You guys are putting a lot of comments here. Okay, Anne-Marie kind of had the same question that Deb did, and maybe I'll make a short video on that just to kind of make that a little clearer as soon as there is a clearer way to do it. Charlotte says, if social capital winners can't use the free hour of consulting, maybe they can pass down the list, perhaps until the number 6 ranked person gets it. That happens to be Charlotte right now. Yeah, well, we'll see. That's a funny idea. Okay. Christine says she would like to keep learning and sharing as much as she can, go through this process herself, and she's changing her website. Great, good. I mean, that's kind of why I wanted to do it in a public way was, obviously, number one, it helps me to get the feedback, but, if I'm transparent about it, I can show you something that becomes useful, that's awesome. Good. So Deb said she wanted to send a class to her sister in LA. that is just fine. So just, add her as a +1 and that will be tracked. Lee says this whole conversation is based on the Nation Builder site platform. For those of us using WordPress, is there a similar opportunity to do these things? Yes, there is. There really is. Like affiliate marketing is not at all, native to Nation Builder. The only thing with Nation Builder is it just tracks those social capital points. That's, that's it. But when we do the affiliate marketing program, again, I think that's going to be in 2 weeks. We'll get into how that would work for WordPress as well. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've got anything set up really well on one of my WordPress sites, but even though this is on Pinterest, Lee, this could just as easily be, an embedded link on a blog post on a WordPress site. It could be a WordPress page. I mean, you can really embed a link anywhere at all. So, you can do it absolutely anywhere. Okay. Charlotte is asking, are you an affiliate for Nation Builder? I have someone who might do it. That was the first thing that I asked them because I was like, oh my gosh, I love your site. I can totally see that I'm going to be talking about this because I just think it's so cool. Again, for membership sites, not for everybody. I'm in no way suggesting that people abandon their perfectly good WordPress site for Nation Builder. It's just if you really want to build, a tribe and have interactivity and have this kind of stuff, then it is pretty cool. But affiliate marketing you can absolutely do, I'd say, with just about any site except for the free WordPress. Again, that was kind of the main reason why I ended up getting out of my first free WordPress site. I think I found it the other day. It might be like social media coach.wordpress.com. I think that's it. This was not a hosted WordPress site. This was just like a freebie. And no, that's not it. Okay. I haven't been on it in years, so it might have gone away. But basically, they ended up shutting me down or locking me out because I had embedded some, affiliate links. So you do have to at least play by the rules of your, your website, but I'd say probably most of them are not going to have that problem. Next week might be interesting because we're going to be doing website building on several different platforms, and I'll try to kind of make a mental note about affiliate marketing and how that stacks up in each of the different sites that we'll be evaluating. Okay, so cool. Okay, so Deb is saying she doesn't know how to invite her sister, and okay, if you don't know, then there's probably a lot of people that don't know, so let me just kind of go through that. One way that you could do it would just be simply to copy the URL up at the top. You could do that, and you said you're going to be emailing her, so you could, you could just email her, put the link in an email, and does that track you or not? Just tell me at this point. I mean, we're not huge. Or you could change the number of guests you're bringing here. You could just say, make her a +1, update the RSVP, and you could just RSVP for her. Okay, you don't care about tracking. If you don't care about tracking, then what I would do would be just copy that URL up here. This is going to be the one that's specific to explorations and website building, and you can just paste that URL right into a link. Okay, need to figure out how to invite. Okay, let me just go through it slowly. Right now, I'm on, not just CoThrive, but I'm in the calendar page, number one. Let me pretend like I'm just getting to the site cold, like you would be if you just went to cothrive.org. Okay. If I go to cothrive.org, I would go to calendar first of all, and then I would find the event that I want to invite somebody to. This kind of reddish-brown explorations and website building is hyperlinked, so when I click on that, it expands to open up to a whole page that basically goes along with that. That page has its own unique address. Okay, so you can copy that up there. Compose, if you know, okay, sorry, Kobe, I was going to send you an email and I didn't get that done. Get started with so many things. So if I do compose, then you just type in your sister's email, just put paste that link right there, and then, hey sis, here's the invite, or here's the link to sign up for the event that I told you about. I think most email programs will automatically link that. If you want to be real fancy, you can go ahead and highlight it and then hyperlink it down here using that little chain link toolbar. And then you can see that you can choose go to the link and it goes right back to the place we started from. So if you don't want to do a +1, but you could update your own RSVP and just add her, that would also work. That might be a little simpler. But if you've got to email it, then I would do that. I love how you guys are doing this, tweeting the link to the page, all that stuff. You can now kind of reply to one another, and I would really encourage you to follow the tribe members, follow the team members, get to know each other, because it's really very cool when we start supporting one another. We can do so much. Like, I just had one new member who was referred to me by April from Harvest Circle Workshop. April was on a call a couple, 3-4 weeks ago, and she told somebody, a jewelry designer, about me. And so she came to office hours. She was the only one. She had me for a whole hour. She's coming back today. And, I was just able to introduce her to people. I mean, the social media is really the biggest thing. And so I think that's the power that we're all going to have by putting our heads together, by putting our hearts together, and focusing on an intention of lifting one another up. I think that this is a creative group. You've really got some interesting projects out there, and that there are going to be opportunities to cross-pollinate. So it just makes the social media feel not so lonely when you post and you know that somebody's got your back. Somebody's got, some help. It's not just about retweeting stuff on CoThrive, but you can put your own events on here, and then you can, you can have other community members retweet. That was another kind of fun thing I was thinking is maybe just to have like a co-working hour and say, bring your project that you want to promote, and let's just all, retweet, comment on one another's blog post, whatever. Just kind of have it be a working hour. Good question from Christine. She's asking, how do we tap into your office hours and when are they? Well, they actually change a little bit every week because my schedule changes every week depending on, client engagements, speaking engagements, that kind of stuff. So I have been sending out, until this week when I left the message in draft, I've been sending out email to let people know what the hours are and the link for how to join. So I did send them already for next week. I'll resend that to everybody who's on this call and who's a member according to my membership directory. And again, I think since I'm opening it up to so many more people, I probably should add some more hours. Okay, let's see. Great, you're welcome. And welcome, Michelle Henry. Great to have you. I just want to give a special shout out to the people who have volunteered, who have already done something, or who are in the queue, who have made a pledge to help, other kinds of things. I just think it's really very, very awesome. Charlotte said she wanted to volunteer. You didn't specify exactly. Kobe Ball, who's on the call, she's got a marketing background and she's very detail oriented. She said that she would volunteer admin services, which would be great. Doka, who is on the call, was horrified when she saw how many unread emails I had, and she volunteered to do a program for the whole group on email management, time management, and I've heard some of her stuff. It's really very, very helpful. Michelle Henry, who just arrived, is an online professor, and she said she can write online courses, so she has volunteered to do that. Roseanne said she would volunteer. We haven't specified yet. Lisa Harris, I already mentioned, has begun to look into how to do some video editing. Scott Mason, who's on the call, you met him back on Logo Day. He's a friend of mine back from Milwaukee when I lived there, and so he did the logo. He also offered me quite a bit of advice on how to restructure the page layout, or excuse me, the navigation layout. And Scott, I actually did do some of that this morning already. You can check it out. I got further than I thought I would. I didn't get it all done. But anyway, just thanks to all of you who have stepped up, and I really just want to encourage you to get creative. Think about things that you could perhaps, volunteer or donate that is actually what you want to attract to yourself. Like Doka, for instance, is starting a different kind of business. I'm not going to spill the beans on that. I'll let her introduce that when she's ready. But she's not really wanting to do more time management stuff. I'm gladly taking her information because it's, it's awesome and it will be helpful. But she doesn't necessarily want to attract more of that to herself. So that's kind of a one-off thing. But whatever you've got that you want to be known for, it seems like that ultimately is going to be the best win-win. So I'll take any kind of volunteer stuff, but I'd love to put you in your best light so that you start to be known, as an expert in that area. If you want to learn something new, that's great too. I'm very happy to have the help. So Scott, you've got a fan. Anne Marie is asking, is Scott available for others for web design? Yes, he is. He is a member in the membership directory. You can find him now. His full name is Scott Mason, so you should be able to click on that and hopefully connect there. If you have any trouble, you can let me know. Let's see. That is to say, is this what his business is now? Yeah. You know what, Scott? Let me just put up his studio. He's not on his own. He has worked at a studio in Milwaukee for quite a while. But here's where you can find him. It's called John Goes Studio, and they do some really nice work. Okay. It's goes, Goes, studio.com, and very cool. So Scott says, sounds cool. He does web, illustration, mix of stuff. I have to say, back in my 20s, when I first met Scott, he actually, again, gifted me without me even knowing it. He made me a label for my home brew. I used to brew beer when I lived in Milwaukee. And my mom still has a bottle that Scott designed on her cabinet shelf. It was called Legner Lager, my maiden name. It was pretty cool. So anyway, contact us. You can find out the info there. But if you go to Goes Studio, Goes studio.com, that's the best way that you can connect with Scott. Okay. And the phone number's there, email there. Good. Okay. And Deb, you guys are so active today. This is just so cool to see all these questions. It's not just the Kathy show. Deb said she just invited 10 people. If we send the link to invite, but they are not a member, they can't. Oh, yeah, anybody can RSVP. Anybody can RSVP for those free events. Those are open to the public. The only thing that's not completely open to the public right now is the office hours, because the webinars are, I've got a theme, I've got an idea, and I'm just going to kind of roll with it. I'll make it as interactive as I can, but it's not about really helping members with their specific projects necessarily. The office hours are for helping you with your projects. So like yesterday, I mean, basically for $30 an hour, this woman got me for a full hour because she was the only one there, and she got the same level of attention that she would have had paying me $125 an hour, which is my open rate. So if I've got the time, I would love nothing more than to invest that into members and have you be able to fix that thing that's been driving you crazy on your Facebook page, or talk about how to get that database uploaded or cleaned or deduplicated, or whatever. Even though my name has been my social media coach for the last 6 years, I have 25 years of sales and marketing experience. So, that's been in print, that's been in direct mail. I've had association management experience, I've had sales management experience, database development, database management. So I can kind of advise on a lot of stuff. So whatever I can do, if I know how to do it, that's fair game to ask during those office hours. All right. And let's see. Great, great question from Deb Landry. I'm so glad you asked this question because my mind was totally going there. She said, can the members sell services to one another? It would be cool if each member had a list of services they would offer at a discount for other members. You totally read my mind. I was thinking of that very thing. Like, is there something that, you develop as a freemium, if you're an online kind of company, I told you about that Trailblazer quotient, for instance. We talked about that on Monday. That woman's got that set up. It really doesn't cost her anything for somebody to download it, try it. So, put your stuff out there to let people get to know you if you've already got something like that. But if you're willing to, give a discount for members, let me know and we'll work it out. I think what I'd like to do is kind of get through that first 60 days to work out the other kinks and find out, who wants to kind of stay in as a member. But that's a great idea. I love that. And maybe for now, you could just put it on your profile. So hopefully that will be pretty self-explanatory how to go in and edit your profile. If not, we can even have a separate class about that. Charlotte says it would be kind of like time banking. It could be. It could be. Lee, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I know for the last few years you were trying to kind of offer people a unique experience on Lake Michigan. I'm going to let you comment before I say anything further. But I have never been able to take you up on it. You said you were trying to introduce people to adventure. And, what a cool feature that would be. Okay, so is that okay if I can say it? Yeah, so Lee has a boat, a sailboat on Lake Michigan, and I bet you could probably trade sailboat rides with Lee for something. I mean, he's just a heck of a nice guy and wants to share, but if you can do some kind of barter, and I certainly do not have the means to afford a sailboat right now. I love sailing, so I so appreciate that opportunity, and I'm just disappointed we have not been able to make that work. He's invited me, I can't tell you how many times, and weather, something always seems to come up. So he's saying he'll consider anything. Obviously with some of these things you need to be geographically, close, but a lot of people on this call are kind of in the Chicago, Northwest Indiana, Michiana area, and or have ties here. So sooner or later, I'd love to see people, spread out all over, and we've got this whole network so that we've got support. Great. Lisa Harris is saying she loves to sail, loves it. Maybe he needs a cook for a sailing trip. She's a chef, Lee, so you could work out something really interesting there. So I just love where this is going. I think collectively, we all have this excess capacity. Like, this is kind of what has always bugged me, is when I'm, busy, it's the last thing you can think of is, gee, how can I help more people? But I really want to just arrange my day so that I'm using my time to help the people I really want to help, and just getting rid of the barriers, with the scheduling and the this and the that. It's just to say, here I am, I'm always doing this, here's what I'm willing to do for you for this one, low monthly fee. If this works, great. You go to the front of the line, and wonderful, that's cool. For other people, if you have a sailboat or you're a chef and you've got, more time than money, then I bet you that's such a great silent auction, item. It seems like whenever I go to a silent auction and there's something about, a chef coming to your house and, making dinner for a group, like, those things always just go, So we all have gifts like that we just need to be able to value and exchange with one another. And that's really the idea I want to embrace with the site is, time banking, alternative economies, basically just not having it need to be all about, money, 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 money. It certainly comes in handy. I'm not anti-money in any way, but, I just think too many people feel disenfranchised, or that, this is not for them if they can't do, the monthly sign-up. So I'm really hoping that I can teach you to fish, with the affiliate marketing. And so as I thrive by getting members, if you're the person that brought me that member, you thrive too. Christine gave me an interesting model to take a look at. Let's see, what was it called? Chicks Connect. Kind of funny. I mean, we're definitely not going to be only chicks. We got a lot of cool guys on the call that are very welcome, but it was a similar model and kind of interesting. So Christine shared this with me. Basically, I mean, if you want to go be an affiliate for Chicks Connect, it's super easy. It's chicksconnect.com, and you just go up to affiliate sign up. I think I did it just to see, you know, how easy it was, and it was super easy. But here's a lady, check out my chick check for $112 just for inviting chicks to be members of Chicks Connect. That's my monthly chick check. That's a mouthful. But basically, you know, you just fill it out here. It does the tracking, and so, you know, you probably can't live on $112 a month, but it's nice. It's a nice little extra that, you know, something that, yeah, I saw that Christine that she uses Infusionsoft. I would love to have Infusionsoft. I'm definitely not there yet for managing. I've heard that that's wonderful. It's a little more expensive than what I can do right now. But yeah, I thought it was super simple, very easy, and you know, so I'll be looking at different products you could sell. I'd like to layer that on to the blog lessons, which we're going to do, you know, next week, blog/website, because, you know, if you're writing about content and you're doing it just, you know, for your own edification or to become known about a certain thing, I think there is a way to talk about products or talk about services with integrity. You know, if you're talking about a certain thing anyway, you know, you do need to disclose that you're an affiliate, but you kind of need to have the blog, or it's a lot easier to do if you've got a blog, you know, to kind of get the mileage out of these affiliate things. You can't even just tweet it. You know, you can Facebook it, you can Pinterest it. You know, there are other ways to get it out, but I'd say a blog is kind of the meatiest because anyway, we'll get into that in a few weeks. I don't want to get too off on a tangent, but I just have so many ideas that I'd love to share with you guys, and you know, you've been a great audience. I did do a couple of polls, and let's just see if I can. Yeah, I'm going to try to launch a poll. I haven't done that at all during this thing. Okay, do you guys see on screen right now a poll? Yeah. If you could let me know of the following things on the screen, like which of those looks the most interesting, just so you know, your name's not going to show up. Don't worry. But if you can click more than one, let me give you another couple seconds. I want to start doing better feedback. That is, media creation is kind of like multimedia, Charlotte. So you were mentioning YouTube. So I'm thinking like video, webinars, podcasts. That's what I kind of mean by that last one. There wasn't a whole lot of space to type in instructions. Okay, so everybody done? Can I end that? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end it. Let's close it. And let's see what you said. Yeah, like why not, you know, why not get your opinion since you're here, and we can look at what did you want, what do you want to do. Okay, so let me make that a little bigger so I can see it. All right, cool. So this will help me out so that I know how to prioritize. You know, I've got things in mind that I want to do, but I'll go by what you're telling me. Thank you so much for all your answers. I've got one more poll. Kind of forgot about this feature, to be real honest with you. Kind of getting a bad habit of not doing it. Let's see. Hide. Okay. And, you know, I'm trying to figure out what benefits I want to offer, and I'm kind of shooting from the hip, like, you know, what can I do? But I'd really like to know, what do you think is most valuable? So if you could do me a favor and same thing, just kind of rank, you know, what's on here. I think I told you what the office hours were already. You know, discounts on private coaching. I don't think I said that yet. What I was thinking is that I would like to just offer beyond office hours. I could say, hey, you know, I had a cancellation. Sometimes I'm supposed to be doing full days of training, and then, you know, a client cancels. I've all of a sudden got 8 hours. Like, I could offer discounted, you know, consulting hours to members. That's what I kind of had in mind there. Mastermind groups, that's something I'd like to launch. I'd like to know if there's interest. So it could be on a particular project. It could be around blogging. It could be around sales. But basically, I would facilitate creating small groups and letting that happen. Are you guys able to vote? I don't see any voting happening. Did I not do something? Did I not launch? I think I launched. Okay. And then the, you know, I guess just getting input from you, whether you call it voting or whether you know, just say weighing in on what we're doing. Okay. And then ability to create and share content. I mean, I've talked to a couple people that want a podcast or they want to do webinars, and I thought it might be good. You can't vote. Okay, let me try it again. Attendees are viewing. What did I do? I don't know if I can launch it again. All right. Well, I was doing so well. Okay. Hide. Shoot. Okay. Well, you know what? I'll just have to send that out as a follow-up email. My apologies. I'm not sure why that didn't work this time. All right. But I know we're just barely over 8 o'clock, so I should probably let you guys go. There were no buttons to vote? That's weird. They were showing up on mine, but not on yours. Okay. Yeah. I think once you launch the poll, it's kind of like you can only do it once. So I'll try it again in an email. I can set up a SurveyMonkey or something. And you can always shoot me an email too. That's no problem. But again, thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate it. You have just been, you know, really awesome. This has been so helpful. And I think I'm going to go take a nap because I've been up since 1:30. So I hope you'll come back. Again, we're going to be doing the creating websites next week. I think we're going to be doing affiliate marketing, you know, after that. And then I'd really like to look at, you know, what your input is for beyond that and how we can do it. Okay. I'm going to stop the recording, but I'll stick around because there are a lot of other questions. And so I'd like to answer those, not necessarily as part of the recorded webinar. All right. Anybody who wants to stick around with me, I'll be happy to do so.